Good morning.
I've decided I'm not doing my hair until I get it cut. It's going to be in a bun for the next 4 weeks.
Oh, your haircut is not scheduled for 4 weeks?
I'm not doing it until I come back because the salon that I'm going to is my old one here that Kelly went to.
Did you like it? Your hair looks beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think I'm going to make an appointment also for the same time to get a little color regime.
Is it an Aveda?
No.
No, I think it's a one-off. They choose their own products, like different kinds of products too.
Oh,
and I think it's still owned by the same couple. And they put out some of the most, I don't know, like best performing hairstylists, colorists,
awesome.
and they specialize in colorists.
Yeah.
But my original hairstylist when I lived here 10 years ago, she went back and she's their front office manager because she had to retire because she got really bad carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
And she's back and she's running their front office and she's lovely. Yeah. And they still have incredible people that work there and we're going to go back.
Yeah.
I still go to the salon that I was fired from. So
good.
I love that
stuff.
Well, I felt so awkward, not awkward, but like both times I went in because I went in once for my color and then I went back for my cut because we couldn't do it on the same day.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, how did you hear about us? I was like, okay, long story, but
sit down for this one.
I'm like, I know of someone. I was like, I've never met her, but we have connections.
She's known, man.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's how I found my brow tattooist is Liz. Shout out Liz. I think she listens to the podcast too.
Hi, Liz.
She's a foster mom turned adoptee mom. And she just turned 40. And her kids are so freaking cute and they look related to her. It's so weird.
Oh, really?
They look related to each other too. They're adorable. And the entire time, like after I moved, I think she started looking into foster care. And then she met her now ex-husband, got married, and they fostered like 3 girls at one time that were all sisters. Couldn't adopt them though. They went back to their OG mom. And then they got this little girl and this little boy at 2 separate times. And they have like a lot of, not developmental issues, but like emotional, like therapy needs from how they were born. Yeah. And they're doing like equine therapy right now and seeing a lot of growth. They just got to go to Disneyland for the first time without having to wear the earmuffs, the headphone things.
Yeah.
So that they aren't overwhelmed by anything. And they did so good.
Oh,
they're
that's
such
awesome.
Cute kids. She's one of those women that I like. She makes me think that I could do fostering or do adoption because not that she made it look easy because none of that system is easy, but she made it look possible. And she's a millennial, and I haven't seen a millennial do that yet that I'm friends with. So yeah, random.
How fun!
I won't shout out the salon yet because I got to go back first.
Yeah,
they're in Scottsdale.
Of course they are.
Everything's in Scottsdale these days. Yeah, hi, welcome back. Episode 22.
We're here.
22.
Oh, that's your one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How many songs into the first album are you?
Into the new album?
New album, sorry.
Like 4.
Out of
30.
There it is.
I haven't gotten to the song yet that everybody's like obsessed with yet.
The Kim Kardashian one?
No, that's from the second half of the album.
Oh, my apologies.
No, the one everyone loves is called But Daddy, I Love Him.
Speechless. Is that about Travis Kelce?
I don't know.
Oh, dear God.
I don't think so.
I
think that one was probably about Joe.
Being the same age as her, it amazes me that she has enough to talk about, even though she's been a millionaire since 16. Like, what life experiences do you need to keep rehashing for these poor people that you date?
Right.
I mean, a lot of her more recent albums have been like Folklore and Evermore, which were her COVID albums, they're not her stories. It
was like a tale that she wove.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the first one, and then the second one was a lot about like her friends' love stories and that kind of stuff. Especially since she started working with Jack Antonoff.
Yes.
On 1989.
Who every time they're
Jack who off? Antonoff. Sorry.
From the Bleachers.
The Bleachers.
Hey, at least we're not talking about periods so far, so we're good. We're making progress.
You're welcome.
At least I
I'm
have
on-
something to add to the conversation when we're talking about periods.
You're like, doo-doo-doo. I mean, I don't really have anything to add other than sarcasm. So
Just killing the male audience.
What male
always.
What male audience? And yes.
We're sitting at like 95 female on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
And spousal obligation is 92% male.
The opposite.
Oh, that's so funny.
But
yeah, brother.
yeah, but
Oh,
also
yeah,
like
brother.
so obvious.
Yeah.
Someone's got
We'll
to
take it,
someone's
you know?
got to entertain them,
No, the main music I've been listening to, well, first of all, I haven't even really been listening to a lot of music recently. I've been listening to books and podcasts, specifically the Was I in a Cult podcast, which is a fun one.
A fun one.
It's interesting to me because both hosts were in
a cult.
Well, one was in a cult and one was Mormon, so in a cult.
I like when the hosts have actual experience and not just researching it.
Exactly. And every episode is them interviewing someone who escaped a cult. And it's actually really interesting. One of the most recent episodes I listened to.
Be into that.
Ooh. I think you would really enjoy it, especially because it's not super true crimey. It's very much, it's just people's stories and what they experienced in
I like that.
their different forms of cult-like relationships and actual cults.
Interesting.
One that I loved recently was this guy. He was like the top paid male model in the late 80s and into the 90s. His best friend is Fabio. Like if you've seen an ad from the 90s, you've probably seen this guy.
Yeah.
He was the highest paid. He was the first. He's coined as the first male supermodel. And he was in a cult for most of his early adulthood / like late teen years. And it's like didn't escape until into the 2000s or the late 90s. And how he got out and was like towards the end of it was he went and lived with Fabio in LA for a year
and escaped
to like basically rehabilitate his life.
Wow.
Oh my
because he
gosh.
had to leave everything.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I would be totally down to listen to that. I've been listening to Blind Spot by WNYC and the History Channel. They have 3 seasons. Each season unpacks a part of American history. The first season was about 9/11. And I was so young, of course. I don't really know all the details, and like so much of the details we didn't know for decades.
Yeah.
And it's been so interesting. It's like the road to 9/11 and the 10 years before and how we got to that day. Because did you know there was a bombing at the World Trade Center like 6 or 7 years prior?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
In the garage. And it was supposed to explode the bottom layer of one of the buildings so that it would topple over. And all it did was, well, it killed people, but it exploded in a van and there was damage to the garage, but nothing else. And there was a lot of smoke, so people had to evacuate. And at that point, people at the top of the office were like, I don't know how we survived. Like, how did we get out of this? And it's so eerie listening to the interviews of these people because they were the prequel. Ugh, but I've learned so much. And the next one, I don't remember what the next one is, but the 3rd season is about HIV and AIDS in America and how going back in time to see where it originated from. And
Reagan.
Yeah.
When in doubt, Reagan was the root of the problem.
Probably. War on drugs, all that good stuff. But yeah, I just feel, I mean, I was an American raised in homeschool and then public school. So I probably missed out on a lot of actual history. So it's been interesting actually relearning stuff.
Yeah.
And taking it in. Well, today we're going to do some question jar questions.
Yeah.
Question jar questions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about a pillar conversation about change and life transition because boy, have we been going through it.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy. But
Do you want
first-
to plug in your phone? The charger?
Nah, it's fine.
My charger's broken, so
I think I usually get that charger, and that's why my phone always dies. So I wonder if it's an issue at the base or the
no,
cord.
it's at the top.
Oh.
It's like
It is a little bent.
yeah.
Do you want me to plug in mine to yours?
No,
Okay.
I'll just charge it in between.
Cool. Anyways,
Yeah.
Meet more. Sorry.
Halsey hasn't pulled a question. Should we have her pull a question?
She pulled the second one yesterday.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So long ago.
Pay attention.
So many hours ago.
Oh, that's right. You did that. You did that too.
Crunchy.
That feels like a very Halsey move, though.
Well, we are sisters.
Yeah, true. Blood.
Sister,
Blood.
sister.
What we got?
This question.
Oh, good.
What is the absolute best thing to do on a rainy day?
That's a fantabulous question. And I've had many a rainy day.
You have.
Many a rainy day. Well, I'm already inherently a little homebody. Don't like to leave the home. One could honestly say slightly agoraphobic at this point. The pandemic really
did you in.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like waking up early when it's a rainy day because I like soaking it all up. I love hot coffee with foam. You got to have the foam.
Yes.
1 to 2 books because you need to switch it
Options.
up. A dark book, a happy book, a sexy book, whatever. Just mix it up a little bit. No TV on a rainy day.
Oh.
Not for me. Not for me. But that's because I lived in a rainy, naturey state.
Yeah.
So there's things to watch and look at when it's like that. And we, the porch outside of the Linwood house with the clear roofing. Go out there, blanket, coffee with foam, 2 books.
Oh.
No phone unless I need to create content.
Yeah.
Which is ideal.
Yeah.
And dog curled up on that cute little sofa bench that we used to have. Oh, I miss that backyard. And that's kind of the entire day. Break it up with a few warm meals, maybe some toast, more coffee, and glass of wine at night or whiskey.
Oh,
if you're drinking. When in the pandemic, that turned into weed. Wrap it up. Just
tie it
chilling
up in a bow
and lounging. Blankets.
Love that.
Pussy. Yeah.
Love that for you.
How about a rainy day in Arizona, Cal?
Well,
What changes?
A book does not cross my mind.
I understand.
I'm movie, TV all the way. But maybe blinds are open a little bit because it's cloudy and dark outside. So you can get the essence of the rain.
Essence.
Maybe the windows are open so you can hear the rain.
Absolutely.
Depends on the temp.
Yeah, it depends on the temp. If it's July and it's raining, windows are closed.
Oh, absolutely not. That's just a steam shower outside.
There are 2 very different rainy seasons in Phoenix.
Yeah.
You have our winter rain.
Yep.
In like January, February-ish.
Best
the
rain.
best. Delightful.
Because it's clean too.
Yes.
It makes everything
it's that
cleaner.
crisper, delicious.
Yeah.
And then you get monsoon season. Disgusting. It's hot and wet.
And steamy.
Yeah.
Sticky.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm watching TV shows, curling up with a blanket and the pups.
Yes.
And probably ordering some sort of soup.
Oh, a pho?
Pho, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Love a pho.
Most likely a pho. Yeah.
A ramen.
So much sodium, though. I blow up when I have ramen.
Yeah.
Not like my butt, like my skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, pho is significantly less salt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they have
It's a cleaner broth.
Yes. And chicken based,
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Whereas ramen broth is usually miso ramen or pork fat based, like just tons of additives.
We don't have any good ramen places near us, so
Dang it. Maybe that's
that
a
I
good
know of.
My go-to is in downtown Phoenix.
What's it called?
There's that new one off Baseline.
Interesting.
Excuse me, I lied.
Fact checked.
I'm here to check facts.
I love it.
Listen, maybe I want to gatekeep a little bit. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's fine. You can gatekeep.
No,
Girl boss.
I'll let him have it. It's called Sosoba.
Sosoba.
Sosoba. Sosoba.
That's so funny. We have Soso Goo
Oh, funny. In California.
in California.
So Sosoba, they have the best pork ramen bowl. It has like pork sticks, and then it has so many things. There's like bacon in it.
Oh.
It's got chives, and it's got really like creamy noodles. So good.
I'm a sucker for a kale noodle or a spinach noodle if that is given to me. Why the faces?
Because
A kale noodle?
It doesn't taste like kale.
Okay.
It tastes like nudes, but it's made out of kale, so therefore it's not gonna blow me up.
Yeah. Anyways,
Interesting.
gotta have double egg
Oh, obviously.
because I want all the yolk
Yes.
up in my ramen.
Do you love an egg?
I love an egg.
Ugh.
In my ramen.
James hates it. He gives me his egg though.
Oh,
So I get a
Okay.
double egg for
Hey.
free.
Yeah.
perks of marriage.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so no, I definitely agree with the soup. And there are two very different Arizona rain days.
Yeah.
So if it's a springtime rain day and it's cool out, then windows, blinds, everything's open.
Yeah.
Every door that can be open
So you
is
gotta
open.
clear it out.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only music is playing. It's not a
Mhm.
TV day. It's maybe read a book. Honestly, it's usually a clean my house day. Because the rain,
it's not brutally hot.
because it's not really hot, so I'm not sweating.
Yeah.
It's usually like I moved in right during rain season into my
Yeah,
new
you did.
apartment, and so every day was doors open, and I have like a back door in my bedroom and then the front
Yes,
door, and
so
so
it-
I get the full cross breeze.
Nice.
It's delightful.
You need to invest in a screen slider
Yeah.
from Amazon.
Yeah.
Those are
for
bomb
for the buggies.
for the buggies, but also just for ease of, I don't know, being in your home and feeling a little bit more safe that
Yeah,
something
a little bit of a
blocking.
barrier.
Yeah.
At least now I have the patio,
Right.
and
yeah.
so you have to get through a gate first and then into my house. But
Have you had to turn on your air conditioning yet?
no.
Wow. It's because
No.
you're in a brick
I'm
building.
in a brick building. I'm
and
in
you're
the
in
middle
between.
unit.
Yep.
And so it's delightful.
Nice.
Just with
that.
the fan on, freezing.
We had to turn ours on.
Have not had to turn it on yet.
We
So
always
if
have
it's a
ours on.
summer rain day, like August, September,
Yeah.
monsoon, disgusting in Phoenix, window shut, blinds shut.
Yeah.
I am inside
A
with
cave.
a cave, a blanket,
Yeah.
and
Mostly for fear of trees flying through the window.
that
Yes.
too.
And flash floods.
and flash floods and mud.
We're not going out.
No.
Yeah, because we do have a lot of listenership, not in Arizona.
Yeah.
Our East Coast audience is growing. So for those that don't remember, don't know, if you're new here, we Kelly and Halsey live in Phoenix. I live in Southern California and drive out here once a month. But we're all, Halsey and I are from here, born and raised, and Kelly's from Colorado. Came here for college. So we've been here a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to stay forever.
I keep leaving and then I end up back here.
Yeah.
But not forever.
Not forever. I do feel more rooted here this
Now.
year.
Yeah.
Especially now that like my friends are starting to have kids and on purpose. And,
Congratulations.
I'm in like a very, steady job and
Yeah.
have my own place. And
Yeah.
this is the most rooted. We'll talk about that today. Speaking of, what a great transition.
Wait, I want to answer one more question.
Oh,
Can we do one more?
yeah.
I like doing two.
Okay.
Because today is only our
Yeah.
pillar discussion.
Yeah.
So we got the time.
We got time.
Ooh, this is a thick boy.
Some of them are. I like to mix it up, you know?
Places. Ooh. This was one of mine. Have you ever been in a friend fight? Did it ruin the relationship forever? Why? What did you learn from it?
That's like 5 questions.
It's a conversation.
Just saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Recently?
Not recently.
When's the last time
Not
you had a
so-
bad one?
Ooh.
High school.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much a fight. It was a.
Well,
oh,
sorry.
no, you're good.
What?
The one I was
She
telling you
thought of
about last
something.
night.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't so much a fight. It was more of like not even really a falling out. It was just like a thing happened.
Yeah.
An event happened. And it changed everything.
Yeah. You couldn't come back from it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
We've reconnected
Huh.
in a good way this year.
Yeah.
But that it happened in like August of 2020.
Ooh.
And so also we just couldn't really be around each other that much. We were both in very like public jobs
Yeah.
and didn't want to get
Wasn't safe.
it wasn't safe. And yeah, it just really altered. I don't want to get too much into it because
No,
it's
you're
like,
good.
thing.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it's changed us for the better. And
That's good.
and we've had some really great, really hard conversations and
So
have
not
both-
ignored.
not ignored.
That's good.
But I definitely had high school blowout, fallout, like
Drama.
Should have been physical fights, some of them.
They probably honestly would have been better as physical fights.
Oh, for sure.
Just get it out.
I had a conversation with coworkers a while back where we said, I really wish I had like pulled more hair as a teenager before I could be charged as an adult. Like, I wish I just would have, I don't know, told some people off.
Beat some bitches up.
Yeah.
I wish maybe we need to take like a boxing class. I've never taken a boxing class.
I have. It's fun.
Do you just want to hit something sometimes?
Sure.
Or you could just go to a smash room.
That too. What about you? High school or?
High school, I think, is the most memorable one because it was just lack of communication, honestly. And then neither of us knew how to talk about our feelings, I think, at that time. And so it made senior year suck really bad.
Oh,
I was really ready to get out.
Oh, that makes me sad for you.
But it helped me move, you know?
Yeah, it was your catalyst of like, let's go.
I was like, I'm not staying here for anyone. Like, I don't have friends. No, I'm just joking.
That friend.
But like we've seen each other since.
Yeah.
And it's almost like nothing has really happened, but also we don't know anything about each other anymore. So it's
you're new people.
Like kind of awkward. Like I should know so much about you, or I feel like I know so much about you, but like I'm not the same person I was in high school, not even close. So
yes,
like you don't know me, but you kind of do, and we'll just watch each other on social media.
Yeah.
So,
those are sometimes the hardest ones too, because it's like you knew everything of me at this period in our lives. You know things that my current friends don't know.
Yeah.
Like, or will ever probably.
Yeah. Like, you don't know what my parents' house smelled like, or, you know, like those kinds of things, those really like deep rooted childhood things.
Even just sleepovers, right? Yeah. Like the kinds of friendships that you developed over sleepovers back then are nothing like an adult relationship. No. We're having a sleepover tonight, and this is the first girl sleepover I've had in, I cannot even tell you.
See, my friends come up from Tucson, so we have sleepovers pretty often. But
yeah. I mean, Heather obviously will when she comes up to visit, but we're not.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Even though we were raised on sleepovers with each other.
Yes, absolutely.
Funny. So you talk to them now, or or just social media?
Like talk to each other over social media, but like we'll like have a conversation of like catch up a little bit. And we've talked about meeting up, and like because it was a group of friends and we're all scattered across America, basically. And so it's like, oh, like we should all either go back to Colorado and catch up, or like go to where one of us lives and
meet up,
have like a weekend away or whatever. But it's never happened, so I don't know. Maybe it will someday, but
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I've had many girl quarrels, girl fights at different stages of my life. The thing with Virgos, when you piss them off or burn them, we have a very great way of just being like, bye, never want to see you again in my life.
Yeah.
Even especially if we're at fault in any kind of way. All my girl fights, it was very mutual of fuckery that both of us did to each other, but lack of awareness on my part of what I was actually doing and like what I was weaponizing, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
The one interesting one that has been resolved, you were there with me.
Yeah.
My first roommate moving out of my parents' house for the first time, we had mutual friends at college, and both of us needed a roommate in the same area of town because we both got jobs downtown. So it just kind of happened and worked. I think we went and got coffee once, and the next time we met was when we were signing our lease papers for our apartment. Yeah. And she had this really great boyfriend who I liked, and he liked me, and he was always over. It was totally fine. It was like not a big deal because our apartment was huge.
That apartment was massive.
It was massive. And it had two basically primary bedrooms. My bedroom had an ensuite. Hers didn't, but her bathroom was like right across the hall from her room, which is so easy. And it was like a split style apartment. So we were on opposite ends from each other. It was really nice. And then they got engaged. And I think, I won't speak for her, but my experience was, I think she was mad that she had 10 months of a lease with me and wasn't able to immediately move in with him and save money for a wedding. And hindsight, because back then I was 21, 22. Yeah. I was nowhere near getting married, obviously. not a twinkle in my eye. So saving money for a wedding, I was like, I don't care. Like, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
Yeah.
And from then on, it just became this awkwardness of tiptoeing around each other, not really like investing in relationship with each other, which kind of sucked because we had a lot in common.
Mm-hmm.
They got married, or we moved out, and the move out was silent. Like, we just did not talk to each other. I also broke a vase of hers that I'm pretty sure was from Pier 1, but she made like this big shtick of it.
Oh, no.
Just a huge issue. And I was like, I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
A friend of mine made a fire in the fireplace, and the flue wasn't open, and it smoked out the entire apartment. So like, chaos. We're trying to open all the windows, and I went to where the vase was, tried to open the window, and knocked the vase over. And she was out of town. So of course it just sounded like I tossed a vase and broke it on purpose. I did not.
Especially to two 21-year-old brains. That just sounds like,
drama. But fast forward 10 years later, they're married. I think they have one kid, and they're both like thriving in their careers. Kelly and I did a girls' day at our favorite hotel, the Royal Palms, which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
And from across the pool, I know it's her. She has not changed at all. And then I think she probably thought the same thing. And she waddled over in the pool, waded over in the pool, and was like, Bailey?
Yeah.
Like, bleep. I'm not going to use your name. And we had like this random meeting of the minds, and being like, I was an asshole back then. I'm like, yeah, me too. I was like very damaged and had no therapy and was losing my mind at that time because our family was blowing up when we were living together.
Mm-hmm.
Insanity. And it was ended with, whenever you're back in town, like, would love to grab coffee or lunch or whatever and talk shop. Crazy. Yeah. But that's one of the only like bad girl fights, girl relationships that I've had where there's been resolution. Everyone else has moved away from each other. Like, we just have washed our hands of each other, and we don't need to talk.
Yeah.
Kind of sad.
Yeah.
Girl fights.
Love them.
A lot of my girl fights were also, I'm probably kind of in love with you a little bit, and I don't know what to do with that. Goodbye.
Feelings.
Feelings.
Unrequited. So today, pillar conversations about change and life transition, of which all three of us have gone through a lot of, especially in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why has the last 5 years just felt like a consistent...
Great musical.
What?
The last 5 years. It's a musical.
Anyways. Oh, it is a musical.
Yeah.
But why has the last 5 years just felt so tumultuous? Is it because we're getting older and change happens this frequently as you age? Or is it just us?
COVID.
COVID, you think?
Yeah.
Aged us all 10 years.
I feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
Well, because we lost that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just sitting like waiting for
anything
it to be over. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like is the world ending or are we all not sick anymore? Like, you know,
totally.
Can I go outside or do I have to stay inside?
Yes.
So
I agree.
Like, we were waiting for so long that we missed a lot of opportunities during that time.
That's so sad.
We also just we didn't see a lot of each other during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think any change that happened felt big for like the people on the outside of it. Going like, wait, what? You're moving? What? Okay. Wait, what's happening? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you bought a house? Okay. You like you.
Yeah, I get that. And it was all happening in our own little pockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isolated pockets.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're moving to California? Like,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. Oh, I'm moving countries? Okay, bye. Like,
yeah, that did happen in the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to leave in August of 2020.
Okay.
And then that did not happen.
No. When did you actually leave? I can't even remember.
End of January 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Delayed.
Mm-hmm. We had to wait for borders to open.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Forgot that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. How does change make you feel right now, these days? Do you yearn for it? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
I like it.
Oh, you like it?
Go ahead.
No, you answer.
I kind of love change.
Yeah.
I think it's my little ADD brain goes new. I think I like the newness more than anything. I don't love like the unknown and the anxiety leading up to like a new job or big promotion, things like that. But I love knowing that there are new possibilities and new people. And
even when it's bad change, not bad change, but just like intense change, like moving in with your grandfather and your mother.
Oh no, that wasn't like my favorite thing.
Were you looking forward to that?
No, but that's what I mean. Like, that's not, I don't know. There was still a piece of it where I was like, I know this is temporary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't forever.
Totes.
It's just this thing that's going to happen for now.
A season of
A
life.
season.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that season will end.
And it did.
And
it
it
did. And thank God.
Yeah.
I feel like hard change lately has no end date, has no expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
Living in California, didn't want to go, didn't want to do it, was forced out of Washington. And not like I was running from the law. We had to sell our house because of the ex-wife, and we didn't want to rent. It was so expensive. It was only going to get more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to waste more money on a place that we knew we were already done with.
Yeah.
We were just not ready to be done with it at that time.
Mhm.
And California has felt like purgatory. I feel like I can't grow. I feel like I'm on pause every time I go home, especially with the podcast now. I think that's why March, our break in between seasons, was so hard for me, because I just felt like this consistent pattern of my routine is just going to the gym and cooking and cleaning. And I should be writing, but I have no energy and or gumption to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when that's going to end. And I have to force myself to be okay and make a new reality there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hold any of my hopes and dreams, you know?
Yeah.
I don't like the weather. I don't like the people. I don't like where we're living. I don't like the condo. None of it is speaking to me. And I have to that's why I stay at home so much, because that has become my little paradise of a place I can control.
Mhm.
And that's just not enough. I need to be able to like walk to my coffee shops and walk to the grocery store and participate in community and life. And that's never going to happen in California.
Yeah.
And I don't know when that's going to end. Like, my realistic timeline based on James's work, maybe next spring something is happening, but that's not up to me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's so yucky, is that I just have no choice in it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just have to sit in it. And I haven't been in that place ever.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if I don't like a situation, I have had the capacity to be like, I will change this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a partnership, and that partnership is in a job, in a career that is only up to that person and that company.
Yeah.
And I just got to sit back and wait.
How do you feel about change, Cal?
I like the idea of change,
I like talking about it.
but I also like to be in control.
Mm.
So it's hard for me to let it happen. But I think part of that is because what am I trying to say to you right now?
Take your time.
I think like when I was starting to feel sick all the time, I needed to know the game plan of everything, of what we're doing, where we're going, what am I going to eat while we're there, all these details. And so if things were switched up to me last minute, then I was like, I'm panicked because now I have all this anxiety. And I feel like also because of the pandemic and being home so much, it's like, I'm so used to my bubble, my small group of people, and it's predictable.
Predictable.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now that things are open again and we're trying new things with projects and adventures and stuff, like I want the change and I want to grow with it too, because I think good things will come from it, and it's good to have variety.
Yeah.
But it scares me sometimes.
Totally. I don't know if you feel this too about projects in the company, but I love that change too. But I also need to get over my expectations of the outcome.
Yeah.
And that's been hard, because I'm used to me putting in the effort, me putting in the work equals popularity, virality, numbers, money, because that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And that science project always comes out in that outcome. But now I'm doing it for a personal brand and family and a whole new industry. And those expectations are not being met. And I have to be okay with that too.
Yeah.
That change.
And sometimes it's overwhelming though too, because with that, having the high expectations, like I want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
But then that stunts me to say I can't even start.
Yes.
So
Same.
So I'm like, I'll just stay here.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. In this little cycle
Yeah.
that I've created for myself.
So
Same.
I like, yeah.
So you like change for the most part.
I like the idea of it, and I would like more of it, kind of, but I'd like some say in the change.
Ditto. Yeah, I don't
if
like
possible.
change forced upon me.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But I'm trying to be more flexible though with things, and I want to be more flexible with going with the flow and easy going. So
See, Bracy, beautiful.
cover.
Cover Kelly.
Yeah.
So. How do you handle change now versus in your teens? What did change look like back then?
Sorry, I'm looking at my notes if you see me looking over here.
Yeah, you're good.
So I think in my teens and my early 20s, I had a lot of constant change. I was leaving the country or changing jobs every 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was 21 that I had a job for longer than a year.
Yeah. That's pretty normal for
Yeah.
first jobs.
And so settled was not really for me. I was always just running towards change during those years and trying to find a place in the world where I could be myself, be safe, and find whatever I was looking for at that time.
Yeah.
This time in my life now is just the most locked in I've been in a decade.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first time in your adult life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I handle change now a little more gracefully than I did in my teens or early 20s. I definitely don't run towards it nearly as carelessly as I did when I was, 18 to 22. And when I make choices now, it's a lot more thought out and cared for, and how it will affect
You.
myself, my future,
Yeah.
the people around me.
Yeah, I don't think you do things to Halsey's today future. I really think you're thinking about the next 3 years, the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Whereas watching you in your early 20s, late teens, it was bunny hopping around. Like you couldn't decide on what the next thing was going to be, and you could only think of like the next 3 months, the next 6 months, let alone the next year.
Well, and I made a lot of choices as a teenager and early 20s out of fear and out of racing towards what I thought was right or what I thought I wanted at the time.
In comparison to like older siblings.
In comparison to older siblings, in comparison to where my friends were at.
Totally.
I mean, I went to college for that semester because
everyone was doing it.
Literally because everyone else was doing it,
Yeah.
because all my friends were going to college, whether it was community college I went to or state university or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's what literally every single one of my friends, that was the choice they had made.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I no one else was mirroring for me a different option.
Yes.
And everyone was telling me like, oh, you'd be a great teacher. Go get an education degree. And also similar to you during that age range, was making choices out of, I know I don't want blank. I know I don't want instability. I know I want something solid for myself.
Yes.
Because I've never had that.
Yes.
And that's why I chose to be an elementary education major in the first place. I'll always have a job.
Yeah.
Always have a career option. And then I got a semester into it and was like, I don't like this.
No.
Yeah.
This change sucks.
Yeah, because I was
Not
an
a fan.
education major too at some point. I had
Yeah.
4 freaking majors in college.
Yeah.
And that was my third to last.
Yeah.
And I went to go sign up for student teaching. I had a panic attack in my counselor's office at ASU and was like, I don't think I'm supposed to do this. She's like, why? I'm like, because I don't like kids. She's like, that would be a great idea to not do this then.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
great. Where's
Awesome.
the other college? I ran to the Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences building. It was like, give me whatever you got. I started looking through the majors and I landed at communication studies from A to C. I just made it to C and was like, that one.
Good enough.
Well, and it helped that at that point, all of your classes kind of could be funneled into a communications degree.
And that's what I started talking about with my new guidance counselor of like, what can I get that most of my credits can be complementary?
Yeah.
That was one of the first. And I still finished. I had half the degree that I had to get though of all the different credits that I had never even heard of before. And I did summer school and I did 18 credited hours for fall and winter. And I did it in 1 year.
Yeah.
You can do it too. Just kidding.
God, no.
Don't
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
do
that.
that.
Don't do that.
TikTok education now. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. But you know, I was definitely just running
Yeah.
for a long time.
For sure.
And just that's how I handled life, was constant change.
Yeah. Instability plays a huge role in, I think, a lot of our decision making because for us, we watched our parents be financially unstable for a lot of our childhood. And I just never wanted to be there. It was a huge reason why I didn't want kids for the longest time because I equated having children to having no money and like not being able to care for myself and or the person that I made.
Yeah.
And I just never wanted to put myself in that position, but put another kid in that position because I would never do that.
Yeah.
What was done to me to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of my decisions were, will I always have a job if I do this? Will I make a lot of money if I do it? And will my debt to income ratio kind of equal out in a short period of time? Great. I'll choose that choice.
Yeah.
What about
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I was just saying one last. I was like, obviously, a lot of my choices were never about how much money it was going to make me.
Well,
because that part I just didn't really care about. I think it was about, will this lead to the outcome I think I am supposed to get to?
Yeah. Or that you're supposed to want?
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit of that, but it was just like, okay, if I make these changes, this outcome might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone around me will be happy with the choices that I made.
Yeah.
And it'll be perfect. And
when
I'll be
did you
perfect. And this will be great.
Yeah.
When did you switch to planning for yourself instead of what other people would want for you?
Probably at 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 years ago. Is when I hit the bottom of like, okay, I made all of the choices that I thought I was supposed to make.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten here. And this sucks.
Mid Bosnia.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's
She's like,
yep.
I think I like girls and I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this anymore. The church thing,
Yeah.
the missionary thing.
Which sucked because the outreach part I still love.
I know. But that can happen.
Well, and we'll
Another.
talk about it in the mental health episode. I found a thing.
Cool.
I'm going to
Okay.
look into applying for it.
Pause. You.
Yes.
I think that in my teens, I didn't get a lot of opportunity to have a opinion about change. And because we're the same age, Halsey and I are the same age gap to our siblings, but it was just me with my parents for a long time. And so where they went, I went, and it was just go with the flow.
Dictated.
Yeah, we're going to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I got very comfortable and used to that. But I think that's why when I was in my early 20s, I was finally able to make these choices for myself of like where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. And I felt fine about it, but then trying to deal with like not feeling good all the time scared me to have anything change.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't handle it super great. I was, I think, a difficult person to make plans with sometimes for those years. And I think that like in the past few years though, like I finally started to like get over that.
Yeah.
Because I feel good most of the time and I've figured out like what causes me to not feel gross, so like I've gotten down to the bottom of a lot of that. But I think, I don't know. I don't have much to say, I guess. I
No,
thought I
you're
had
doing
more to
great.
say, but
You're doing fine.
yeah, I think I'm starting to handle change a little bit better, but I
I
definitely
would agree.
I would absolutely
took
agree.
some-
Yeah.
it took some time.
Yeah. I think I've always been forced to be okay with change no matter what in
Mhm.
my life, especially in my teens and 20s.
Mhm.
But the choosing choices for myself specifically,
Mhm.
not based on what others want for me, I don't think I really started doing that until 33.
Yeah.
So congratulations for sharing that a lot earlier. I did not. I think, but I put it a lot on myself, like expectations of others that weren't even their expectations, but they were in my brain
Mm-hmm.
that I thought that's what they wanted. And expectations of companies and people who literally go home and could care less about me. I put their thoughts about my progress or my life or my choices above my own for so long. So yucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my teens change was constant and really unhealthy. And the only thing that I could control was food
Yeah.
and eating and not moving my body, which is why I put almost all of my heaviest weight on after high school into college and like the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it was the only thing that I could control.
Yeah.
What I was doing with my own self. Because everything else was being dictated by like the chutes and ladders of it all, of my career and stepping away from family and stepping away from church. That kind of, I didn't really get to choose that choice. That was just done.
Yeah. So what do you think made that transition? Like what was the thing that made you change your mindset?
Getting fired.
Mm.
Like that's how recent I'm thinking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The changes that happened in Washington and being away from the systems that I grew up with
Mm-hmm.
was discombobulating. It's why I partied a lot after my first relationship and that exploding in my face, because I thought when I went to Washington, I'm like, okay, I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. I went to college. I got a great career. I'm making money. I moved out of my hometown. I'm not the Arizona girl anymore. Like I can do this. Then I met a dude. I'm like, see, everything's falling into place. I did this myself. And then a year and a half into that all blew up. Cheating, breaking up. And then I lost my job 3 weeks after we broke up because the hotel closed.
Oh.
And I was like flung into this opportunity with the LA hotel. So I was traveling back and forth and working in hospitality, which is a massive party scene. And I was 26 and I had never done anything bad. I had never done drugs. I had never partied. I had never been promiscuous in any way. And it was like the whole world exploded.
Yeah.
And I kind of just went with the flow of chaos and choosing bad things for myself for a minute.
Yeah.
Like at least 5 years and just surviving. And then I went to therapy and it got better. I worked through some stuff with one therapist and did okay, and then changed jobs and became very just focused on my job. And then I listened to a podcast about this one type of therapy, and the therapist just happened to be part of the University of Washington. And I reached out to her office and was like, I'm very interested in this therapy. I think this might actually help me, because I had only done talk therapy before and I hated it. I just went to therapy thinking I'm paying this amount of money and I'm coming out of it more broken.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm being helped. I don't feel like I'm growing in any way.
Well, and talk therapy doesn't work for everyone.
Exactly. And I don't think anyone told me that.
Yeah.
They just said, go to therapy. You are a messed up person and you have had so much bad stuff. Just go to therapy.
Yeah.
Instead of telling me, there's other forms.
Yeah.
There are other choices. So I reached out to her. She wasn't taking new patients, but someone who was one of her fellows who she taught and like raised was. And I got connected with her. I only did this therapy virtually for 3 months. And it was the first 3 months that James and I had met. I basically met him and was like, if I don't do something significant with my mental health and work on some shit, I'm going to lose this person. And I think this is my person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that therapy for the first 3 months of our relationship. And I warned him of like, I'm going to do this. And I think it will probably rip me apart. But in the end, I'll be able to put it all back together a little better. He's like, cool. Support
Like,
you.
so
Let's do
just-
this
Hang on.
for your life.
Don't go anywhere.
And then I got done with that therapy, and we had been together 9 months by that point. And then the whole ex-wife thing happened where she got broken up with and then moved in to the house with her son, a whole thing. Who knows if I'll ever talk about that. But
what a tale.
we were
Right.
flung into this like,
Yeah.
okay, are we going to choose each other? Because it's about to get interesting. And we did.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened. So it feels like all these dominoes were supposed to happen. The change was supposed to happen, but I don't feel like I really got to choose any of it.
Yeah.
And then I got fired. And I was like, I can choose to go career path again. I'm going to do the same exact thing. It's the same exact process. And will a good Bailey come out of it? Probably not. The same Bailey will continue to come out of it because I've changed none of the variables.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about in our one-on-one a couple weeks ago when we came after your school break, I feel like the more I deconstruct from that life, the more I'm able to see that maybe I can want different things for myself than anyone else has ever told me that I could have.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the housewife life, but if the housewife life also included running a company and creating things with people I love, I could have that.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane to me. And I really do feel like I am being forced to choose things for myself for the first time.
Yeah.
34.
We love it though.
I love it too.
Times.
It's just been a very interesting year.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you feel like was the big milestone, I guess, that like changed your thought process when it comes to like making decisions about change and stuff?
Probably hitting rock bottom in Bosnia.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy because no one in my like real life was there for it,
Yeah.
but I had the worst mental breakdown I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, called mom sobbing, going, I'm either going to do something really stupid or come home.
Which could also be really,
really
stupid.
Stupid is stupid.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Here for
And
you
those
guys.
were like the two options.
Yeah.
And then the second time that happened was last year at the hotel. I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to end up in jail or a mental hospital if I don't get out of this career path I've put myself on.
Or in the ground. Those
Or
are
in
the
the
only
ground.
three.
Yeah.
Mental health, but the hospital usually leads to in the ground. In my world, anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to be a grippy sock vacation or jail.
Have fun.
Because I'm either going to leap across this counter and take somebody out or take myself out.
Yeah.
One of those is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because working in hospitality, I just can't explain enough how god awful it is.
I don't envy any front house or like
No,
customer facing person in hospitality. It's brutal.
terrible. Especially post-pandemic. I have worked in customer service since I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to the last 3 years in it.
Gross.
The level of entitlement,
Wild.
the level of like what people are willing to scream in your face about just changed
Yeah.
since COVID happened. Like, because people didn't want to hear no.
And there's no decorum anymore.
No.
No.
People just feel entitled.
I got spit in my face. I got like, I was calling
called
the cops.
awful things.
Called awful things. I was calling the cops daily.
Gross.
I mean, just terrible. And just so, and then the stress of moving with my grandfather.
Yeah.
All of these things compiling up. And I got to the point where I was like, something has to change and I have to change it
Yeah.
Yeah.
or I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, what can I control?
Yeah.
I can control my career. Okay. I'll start looking.
Yeah.
And I was applying to 20 plus jobs a day.
Yeah.
every single day at work on my work laptop. Printing my resume, uploading
using their paper,
using
and
their
ink.
paper and their ink. Oh, absolutely! I don't have a printer at home.
I've done that before.
Yeah,
That's
when you know you're done. It's when you start filling. I was taking interviews on my breaks.
Amazing.
Like I was calling jobs. I'd be like, and I was a supervisor, so I'd be like, hold please, to my colleague and be like, I'll be right back, and then go and like call a company to be like, hey, bring me in for an interview.
Yeah. Did you get my resume?
Did you? And that's how I got my current job. Was I called?
Nice.
I said, hi, I just applied about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I love that.
Please
Proactive.
hire me. Yeah. And then they did, and it just put that little big but little change reset my existence a little bit.
Totally.
It is like, okay, I have a second to breathe.
Yeah.
I wasn't working nights anymore. Okay, I get to see the sunlight.
Who knew?
From not within glass walls.
Yeah.
And I can see my friends.
Yeah.
I can see my family. I can start a company with my family.
Yeah.
I can do all these little things.
I can have weekends for the first time in my adult life.
Ever. Literally ever. First time.
That's life changing in and of itself.
Not requesting a weekend off.
Bro. Changes it all.
In my entire I had last Christmas. Didn't have to request it off. I had Christmas and New Year's. I get these random bank holidays that mean absolutely nothing, but I just get a random Monday off.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we love that.
What about you? Do you have a catalyst moment?
I feel like my biggest was moving here to go to school.
Yeah.
And school in general. My first semester, I absolutely hated it. And I didn't have any friends yet. And it wasn't until towards the middle end of first semester that I had started to get involved with my friend group that I had during school.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had to put myself so much out of my comfort zone because I am naturally a more quiet, reserved person. Like I don't go out of my way to really talk to people. Yeah, that's not me.
That's not
Kelly's not a talk to strangers kind of girl.
But this is how I met Leanne. She was my next door neighbor, and she was friends with, like, they were just very loud, and they always had their door open, and they were always doing stuff. And I just started, for some reason, popping my head in.
Oh,
hi guys,
you sound fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I mean, we went to like a life group together, so I knew who she was enough to be like putting myself in that situation. It wasn't complete strangers.
Yeah.
But I just started kind of throwing myself in their stuff, and I was like, hi, like,
that's so fun.
let me be your friend. And then they invited me to do stuff, and instead of saying no, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go do it because I have nothing else and no one else to do anything with.
Yeah.
But I went home for Christmas and was like, I hate it, because I still wasn't that close with them yet. And so I was like, I don't have any friends yet. I don't know why I'm there. I was just planning to go to school and then move back to Colorado.
Right.
And live the same life that I had. But I didn't want to go back so bad that my grandparents said, we'll drive you back to school to make sure you go. I was like, okay. So they took me back to school, and that was when like the friend group solidified more. Formed. And I was like, okay, I'm meant to be here.
Yeah.
And then I liked being there, and I just got more involved in Arizona, and I met Jansen. So it's like, I wouldn't have done any of that if I had given in. I was to the point that I was like, I don't care that all my stuff is at school. Like, let's just leave it there.
Whoa.
I'm not going back.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Especially at that age.
Yeah.
That's hard to just swallow and keep going.
Yeah. And they're like, no.
We're
paying for this.
Yeah. That's true.
So
there's finances involved.
Still paying for it.
Yay.
I love it so much. But so I feel like that was my big transition of like, you're gonna be thrown out of your comfort zone in every way, but it's gonna be for the better.
Yeah.
And
it is.
Yeah.
That's why I think your answer and your answer make my answer what it is. That it's only happening just right now because the flungness into new reality and being like, okay, I'm gonna sit in this and I'm gonna see what it does.
Yeah.
But just last week I realized this is the first time in my life, because I've been working since I was 16 and before that child labor. So, you know, that I haven't had a thing to go achieve for the betterment of my future. And maybe because society looks the way it does right now and our country looks the way it does, I could care less about 60-year-old Bailey right now. Like, I am all about conserving my mental health and well-being more, because that way 6-year-old Bailey is not in a psych hospital. Because I think if I had continued on this path of just career, corporate, I think I would have landed there, and it wouldn't have been pretty, and it wouldn't have been me. That's what makes me sad looking back. When I got let go, my reaction was so visceral to my friends that were still there, because my best friend still works there, and I scared her. And that made me so sad that she would see me in that light. And that is not me, but that is the point that I was brought to because of this company and because of the person that they made me into. And I just never want to go back there. I never want someone that loves me to look at me and be like, you're scaring me with the things that you're saying. And your reaction is very intense and not you. I'm like, you know what? You're freaking right. And I'm sorry I put you in that position. That's a girl fight. That's a woman fight.
Yeah.
And she can say the hard things to me, and I can take it and sit with it and come back and be like, thank you for caring enough about me to say hard things that I can change.
Yeah.
So we love change.
We do.
And on that note, what a great hour.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe to our channel if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit that bell somewhere over there so that you can know when we have new episodes of Tarot Time, Contract Kitchen, and more to come. Who knows what else will be in store for you. And then if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the like, please rate and review after you listen to our podcast. We would really appreciate it. If you're feeling very giving, please share something on our social medias so more people can know about us. That would be huge. And if you ever do see something on social media, I just learned this yesterday. 9 words in a comment is what helps the algorithm the most, because the algorithm sees, oh, someone took their time to write something out, positive or funny or whatever, emojis. You can use whatever you want, but 9 words or more is really what the algorithm sees as someone who has spent time with a piece of content. So
Interesting.
Wow. That was a really great podcast episode, you guys.
That's 10.
And then a heart emoji. Yay!
We love it.
Hey, thanks for listening to Blood and Contracts. I'm your host, Bailey. I am always co-hosted by my sister by blood,
Halsey.
and my sister by contract.
Kelly.
You've been listening to Blood and Contracts, and we'll see you on the next one.
Okay, bye.